Hey guys, it's Marta. Welcome to my garden. Today I wanted to share my container garden that I have in front of my garage. I wanted to show you the plants I am planting for a calm, serene space that will be very green, white and lime. Let's go. So for those of you who did not see previous videos with this space, you will ask, why are you having so many pots in front of your garage and how do you get your car inside? So this was a garage, but we never used it. So we decided to change this room, the garage, into a space that we work out, and this is just a gate. And I was thinking, I have such a great space that is in semi-shade most of the day, and I wanted to show on my channel how you can use such small space if you have a terrace, maybe you have a balcony, and how to grow plants in containers, not only annuals but also perennials, also trees, and each part of the year I try to grow something different. Of course the trees are here all the time, but I'm changing some of the annuals. I'm trying bulbs in the spring, and then I'm trying the annuals, and I'm trying to change every year to give different vibes with colors. And this year I decided to go with white, lime, and of course a lot of green. The first plant on my right is not in a pot, and that is the only plant that is not in the pot. This is a climbing hydrangea. This was a hydrangea that was growing near my birch trees on the other side of the garden, and it hated the conditions. I don't know why. I can imagine that near a birch is not an easy space. So I decided to plant it here, and it's growing in the ground next to the house. I've seen that in both my neighbors have climbing hydrangeas on the same kind of wall, so I decided to replicate that, and the plant was really happy, and it's been blooming ever since I planted it here. So this is how it is grown in the ground, and then we have some strings that it's easier for it to climb on the wall. So first tree in a pot is a Japanese maple. It's called Riu Sei, and it is a pendula type of maple. So it is like flowing down with its leaves. It looks beautiful, and it has beautiful color in the fall. I'm growing it in a pot, but I'm trying for my trees to choose really big pots, so they are at least 50 centimeters in what is it called? In diameter, exactly, and at least 50 centimeters of the height of the pot. Because the pot is big, it holds on to moisture much better, and I think it is definitely safer for a tree. The smaller the pot, the more of the watering you have to do, and I think the bigger pots are definitely safer. Next plant you can see here is an evergreen. It's Skimmia. It is a plant that loves acidic conditions. It blooms beautifully in the spring, and the scent of the flower is incredible. It's very, very sweet. I overwinter them in the greenhouse, so in the spring when I'm doing all of my sowing, I can smell those flowers, and they are incredibly beautiful. I really love that. And then I bring them here, and they are also blooming with the tulips in the pots, and later I'm removing the flowers, and they will be an evergreen interest. But for this space that is very serene, very calming, very zen, I need those splashes of green that will be a backdrop for all those annuals, all those interesting colors, but this will be the calming component of this composition. So I'm seeing on one of my skimmias, because the other looks beautiful, but this one has problems with the new growth, and the tips of the leaves are dry. So I don't know what that is. If you ever had this problem, please write me in the comments, and I will be checking, of course, for pests, and I will check if it's not some kind of fungal disease. Only the new growth is affected, so I need to inspect very closely what that could be. So this plant is an interesting hydrangea. It's called Runaway Bride, and it is a white hydrangea, very beautiful and new on the market. I got it last year. I really liked it, but it was a small plant. So I'm really interested how it will grow this year. It's definitely bigger, twice the size it was last year, and it has incredibly beautiful blooms. So I'm hoping for a splash of white here and a lot of, it looks very, very calming, and can't wait to see the results this year. It was in the pot all the time last year. So as you can see, this is where the color is, and when I was choosing the pots, I had this idea that the pots have to be very unified, they have to all look the same, and it have to be very calm. So I chose the black color, matte black color, and they are almost all in the same shape, as you can see. I have one here that is a bit different in shape, so it has this thing here. But what I do, they have the inside, and you have to drill the holes so the water can run freely. The plants cannot stand in water. And this part you can leave like this, and from time to time, when there is too much water, you take the plant out and you take the water out. This is for the people who have like a terrace. They don't want any water running on their terrace. Because we have all of the pots in the gravel, we also decided to drill this part of the pot so the water runs freely into the gravel, and we don't have to do anything, and the plants just stand here, and then you only need to water it. My plan for this year is making this whole pot garden having its own watering system. Hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers, the guy who does all of my watering in the garden, all of the systems, is coming next week, and hopefully we'll manage to do something about it, that I don't have to go with a hose every day, and it will be all automatic. Okay, now let's go pot by pot with the blooming plants. Here we have Supertunia Mini Vista Yellow, which I really like because of the gentle yellow with green, which I think will correspond nicely with all of those things I planted here. And we have a small Supertunia Snowdrift, which is a white Supertunia but very vigorous growth, so I think it will be all like a mound of white and yellow flowers. Pot number 2, Heuchera Lime Marmalade, one of my favorite perennials. I think it is a real power horse because it will grow in the pots, it will grow in the shade, it will grow in the sun. It doesn't mind being dry from time to time, so I really love it, and I think it is a nice filler, a nice backdrop or a front drop for your plants. We'll see how it will grow. I also have another Heuchera called Lime Rocky. I will show you on the other side. In the higher pot, we have Coleus Lime Thyme, so hopefully it will grow nice and tall with a lot of lime leaves. Now it's not that happy because it was quite cold, so I can see on the leaves that it's like, give me the hot weather, Marta. And then we have a sweet potato vine, also lime color, another Coleus, and another Supertunia Snowdrift. This one is quite definitely bigger than the small one that I showed you a moment ago. And now you can see how it looks like. I really like those green veins and this little lime inside. It will correspond nicely with the potato vine, with Coleus, also with the Supertunia Mini Vista Yellow. So Supertunia Snowdrift is, I think, one of the best Supertunias. For me, of course, Bubblegum is the best Supertunia ever made. It is power horse, it can grow anywhere, doesn't mind the rain, can grow in the borders, can grow in the pots. It is always the most vigorous one. But last year I planted Snowdrift with Bubblegum and the growth was very similar. So I was really impressed because not all of the Supertunias can grow in the shade of Bubblegum, which is like my favorite Supertunia. Perfect color, perfect growth, very healthy. So this one is for me definitely number 2. Okay, let's look at the other side of the bench. Of course, the Seiryu Japanese maple catches your eye. It is a beautiful tree that is also in a pot. I've had it for 3 or 4 years now, but I bought it as a bigger tree. I did this as a present to myself because I've had Japanese maples in my garden, but I lost them due to really big frost. We've had like -25 one winter, and I lost 3 of my Japanese maples. So 3 years ago I bought this one for myself, and this one is overwintering here next to this wall, and it is well protected. In the same pot I have 2 hostas called Guacamole. I really love them. Big leaves, high impact, they look really beautiful. So the back of this composition is emerald lace Japanese maple. Here we have a panicle hydrangea, which I do not remember which one that is, but it will be blooming with white flowers. Another Skimmia, another hydrangea Runaway bride. Then in the other pot we have Snowdrift Supertunia and Supertunia Mini Vista Yellow. And in this pot we have again Supertunia Mini Vista Yellow, Snowdrift and Diamond Frost Euphorbia that will give nice splash of tiny gentle white flowers that will also look very beautiful. I also need to plant some more heucheras, and I have Lime Rocky and another Coleus, so it will be very nicely linked, all of those. As you can see, there are some repetitions, and I think it looks very good in the pots if you repeat some of the plants. Some you have like solitary plants like the maples, but there are also 3 of them. So I really like those nice repetitions because they will also be calming to the eye. Guys, so I wanted to show you, this is Hosta guacamole, one plant that is 3 years old, and I have it in a pot, and it's been in this pot since it was a baby. It is growing incredibly, and it is overwintering here next to the house. I don't do anything during the winter. I don't put it somewhere protected. So this is what I really love about perennials like that, that you can have them in the pots. And I've had hostas in pots for I think 7 years now. Some of them I planted into the ground this year because the pots were disintegrating and not the plants were really happy inside. So I planted them in the ground, but you can definitely have hostas in pots. And I think if you have a semi-shade position in your terrace or maybe somewhere in your garden that the ground maybe isn't perfect, I think having a hosta in a pot, you just have to remember to water it. It looks just perfect, so tropical. So I don't want to talk about the plants and do nothing through the whole video. So when you want to prepare your pots and you have this insert and then you have your other part of the pot, I will always make the holes. So I'm using my drill and I will just drill 4 holes. As you can see, they are always prepared and you can drill through them. If you want to take the insert from time to time and take the water out, that is fine, but as they will be all standing here, I want the water to run freely, so I will also drill the hole inside this one. I always put them upside down and I drill the holes, and then the water can escape freely. When I'm planting in my pots, especially with heucheras, I like to plant them densely. They will fill the whole pot very quickly, and I want fast results and I want to see them overflowing the pot. Of course, if you want to plant just in the border, it's different. You will do the proper spacing, but in the pots I want them full and I want to see results right now. So these heucheras, some of them are, this is Lime Marmalade and this is Lime Rocky. They are similar, but I think that Lime Rocky has a bit smaller leaves and is more pale. So I will see. This is a new for me, and I wanted to test it because I'm always searching for new lime plants, lime color plants. So we'll see how it goes. But I see that if it's in the sun, it will probably get burned. I can see that now. So probably lime marmalade will stay my favorite type of heuchera. As we'll be doing the repetitions, again I will be doing the same combo, Supertunia Mini Vista Yellow and Supertunia Snowdrift. I will be planting them together in this pot. In the back will be Snowdrift, in the front will be Supertunia Mini Vista Yellow. A lot of questions I get is, do you trim your Supertunias before planting so they grow better? You can do that, but I think those plants are so vigorous that you don't need to do it. I almost never do it. This one is quite leggy because they were growing next to one another and they didn't have the space, so I can do that with this one. It will be more bushy and it will look better with the Supertunia mini Vista Yellow, but with most of my Supertunia planting, I just plant them in the ground and I let them do their thing. They are such vigorous plants. I don't think you need to do it. Okay, now all is left is watering your plants after planting, so the roots set nicely and the plants are really happy. Then we have the maintenance. I'm really hoping for this automatic watering of those pots, but if you don't have that, as I did not have that for many years, I just come with a hose every day, if it's really cold, every second day, and I water them and then fertilizing. Usually, especially for Supertunias, I fertilize on weekly basis. So once a week is a day for fertilizing, and then you have to know which plants, how to fertilize them. So with the blooming types, you will be using different fertilizers, and for those with leaves, you will need different types of fertilizers. I will try to write you in the description what kind of fertilizers I use. It's different because we are all in different parts of the world, and when I'm searching for link, it's like it doesn't appear in the US, it is only in Europe. In UK it's something different, so I will try to find something similar, at least that I use in my garden. Please let me know in the comments, what are you planting in your pots? Do you have a shady spot? Do you have a full sun spot? Let us know what is thriving in your pots and where you live. This is like, please don't skip that. I really love that when you're writing where you live and what's growing well in your garden, and how cute that is that someone is commenting and then you have another person from the same area. I really love that. So waiting for your recommendations. Maybe you have something I've never heard of. I always on the hunt for new plants, especially with lime leaves and lime blooms. So let me know in the comments. And if you like today's video, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. Now more blooms in other spots, of course.